Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello, welcome to the show. This is your host, Neil Howe, and together we have a very special guest, Alex Mandossian. Since 1993, Alex has generated nearly $400 million in sales and profits for his strategic alliance partners, his clients, and students on 5 different continents. His expertise is in electronic broadcast media, such as teleseminars, webinars, podcasts, and most recently Google Hangouts. His marketing strategies helped convert his annual income in 2001 to a monthly income by 2003, and then into an hourly income 16 times by 2006. His colleagues acknowledge him as the Warren Buffett of the Internet because of his unique ability to make money for his partners, clients, and students. Alex's blog is read weekly by over 155,000 subscribers. He has shared the stage with diverse thought leaders such as Richard Branson, Harvey Mackay, Donald Trump, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, Susie Orman, Mikhail Gorbachev, Dalai Lama. Alex's lifetime goal is to become the world's first work-at-home billionaire, not in net worth, but by creating over 1,000 other internet marketing millionaires before his 77th birthday. He lives in Marin County, California, and is a dedicated dad to 2 young children, Gabrielle and Brianna. Wow. Alex, pleasure to have you here on the show.
Neil, thank you. I wish my mother had listened to that introduction because she still doesn't know what I do.
Well, that's great. Normally we get started by, asking who you help. So obviously you've kind of outlined a little bit here in the introduction, but is all your business online, and how did you get started back in 1993?
Well, my original business started with electronic media, dealing with television and radio broadcast, and that is a very expensive media source, TV is, and as is radio. And so when the Internet came about in 1995 for me, is when I got involved, I thought it was a natural extension of some of the skills and tools I already had. Ironically, most of my students and clients are small business owners in specific areas all over the world. So they can be a chiropractor in New York City, or a dentist in Phoenix, Arizona, or a plumber in San Jose, California, or a financial management organization in Dallas, Texas, or any type of service professional that's looking to expand their exposure for their physical business by using the online methodologies that people think are about technology, but they're really about human psychology. So if someone were to ask me, who's your ideal client? Well, a slow learner with deep pockets. And then after they stop laughing, I tell them it's any service professional in a business who wants to use information to help promote their business. They may not be selling the information the way I do, but they're still an information marketer through an online website, through a brochure, through a postcard, and using the Internet to reduce their cost of acquisition of a client or customer or patient, whatever they would call them, and they end up becoming an author, a speaker, or a seminar trainer, because those are the folks who are better promoters of their businesses. And they could be giving speeches at Chamber of Commerce events, or they could be writing a small pamphlet or a book and giving them away as a promotional device. But if they have an online presence, then they're marketing their offline business online. And my first ebook was Online Business Secrets for Offline Businesses. So I think I'm an ideal fit, at least for what my message is, for your audience and your tribe.
Yeah, definitely. That's the large part of our audience is the offline business owner. And many times they don't think that online marketing is for them because they're an offline business. So can you explain to me, like, what are a couple of problems that a local business owner might have and how being that info marketer is really going to help them?
Well, the biggest problem they have is they don't have a sustainable and repeatable process or system to generate exposure. They want more customers. I'm just going to use the word customer. You can call them a client or a patient. I call mine students. Or you can call them a member, you know, if you have a membership situation in the local area. Like a frozen yogurt store has members with
Right.
little punch cards, and, you know, they end up saving more money. But no matter what type of business you're in, the single biggest problem is small business owners focus on getting new customers or trying to create new prospects, and they forget that the root cause of all of that is getting exposure. How do you get that initial exposure or marketing reach or visibility in your area of trade? It could be a 10-mile radius. It could be a 50-mile radius. It could be a 2-mile radius, depending on the business you're in. And how do you get that exposure in order to get a click or someone to walk into your store, which we'll call that a prospect? And then how do you turn that prospect into a customer? Now, I'm assuming everyone who gets enough prospects knows their business well enough to turn them into customers. That's a completely different conversation of conversion. My expertise is how to get exposure and making that small business look like a much bigger business, even if they just have one location in an area that is not heavily populated. We have chiropractors that have less than 5,500 people in the city that they serve, and they're making over $1 million a year. We have one in Newfoundland, Canada, all the way on the East Coast there. And, you know, that is amazing what's possible when you utilize the internet to make you look bigger than you are. So that's one way of just having credibility and influence-generating exposure online so that you look larger than you actually are. Even if you're producing less than $100,000 a year, you can look like $1 million business. And the first place people are going to go these days, before they walk in the front door, is the website. So you want to make sure the website, you want to make sure that the website is reflecting just like your store presence is reflecting you. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is they think, most of them anyway, unless they start dealing with me, is they think that the online world is about technology. And it's not. It's about psychology. So I don't know how to put up a website. Literally, I mean, I can't physically do it. I know Warren Buffett probably doesn't know how to do it. In fact, I don't think Steve Jobs knew how to put up a website. But I know how to market a website. I know how to find the people, a web designer, how to put that up. And so the putting up part is simple. The technology part is simple. You have people do it just like you have a manager in a store. What people don't focus on is the psychology of what to say on that site in order to turn that cold prospect into a warmer prospect so that the redundant and repeated things that they deal with in the store or in the office, let's say like a dentist, all that is handled online so they walk in a lot warmer. So those are just two big problems that most local businesses face, and they can be eliminated instantly just with a mindset shift.
Right, and it's that perceived value. You know, obviously, the more value that you have or you can show, the more attractive you become, and the more money that you can make from your customers, clients, or patients. You know, I think a statistic I heard the other day was there's 13 times as many dentists in America as there are Starbucks, and we see a Starbucks in every corner. So how does a dentist stand out in their local area from all the other dentists out there that are trying to get those same customers?
Well, I'll give you an example. I helped build a dental office in Manhattan, New York. My partner was a dentist originally. He actually co-invented the bonding technique back in the 1970s, and he's a cosmetic dentist, and many dentists these days consider themselves cosmetic dentists, of course. But you know, what makes a dentist different? It's the signals of influence that a dentist has, as a plumber has, as a financial manager has, as an accountant has, that makes them different. So, for example, if the dentist on their website had a special report, I like to call it a consumer awareness guide, 7 things to look for before stepping into the dental chair, right? Or the 7 most important questions to ask your dentist before sitting in the dental chair. Or the 5 biggest mistakes dentists make when acquiring new patients. If you had a consumer awareness guide or special report, in the business world they call it a white paper, and you made that available through molecules, through a PDF, which is a digital ebook online, and what if you turn that into a Kindle book on Amazon? You're wasting 99.99% of all the reach that you have throughout the world, because you're just pulling probably within a 30-mile radius, but because you look larger than life, that dental office is going to be discriminated in favor against other dental offices that don't have that sort of credibility signal. And it all starts with a website. Now, you can have a book that you put on the, in the waiting area, but you've had to kill a few trees along the way, and most people are going to look for you on their phone, or maybe call 1-800-DENTIST, or they may get you through referrals. And even if they get a referral, where's the first place someone goes? Typically, I would say 1 out of 2 people, these are my research findings, will go online, and if you have a crappy-looking website, or if you don't have any kind of an educational tool to differentiate you from another dentist or another service type of profession, then you're going to lose that potential prospect. Now, you haven't lost the sale yet, because that's still up for grabs. That's when they come in. But you're going to lose the potential sale because your online world has not matched or exceeded your offline world.
Yeah, and that's a big problem, I think, with a lot of online businesses, is they are not sure where to start with doing all this kind of stuff. And you're talking about a little bit of repurposing that content. So if there was a place that a local business owner could start, I know they don't have much time because they're running a business, what's the best place for them to start generating that content?
Well, the easiest place to start is with their existing customer base, and identify the 5 to 7 most commonly asked questions that they get and must answer again and again and again and again. If those questions have to be answered more than a few times a day, then that's what's keeping them busy, because they're answering the same questions that are coming up from different people, and that's wasting time. That's focused on promotion when they could be focused on production. So I would take those questions, and depending on how ambitious or shy that service professional is, I would start by having an ebook, which is maybe less than 10 pages, that answers each one of the questions as if you were talking to the customer or prospect face-to-face, potential patient if it's in the medical field, if it's a chiropractor, MD, podiatrist, etc., dentist. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to be a little bit more ambitious, then you would do an audio. Some people feel they have a face for radio, so they don't like video. Okay, no problem. You do an audio where you would simply read the ebook so people could hear your voice, and when they come in the second time they would hear your voice is when you talk to them. So now you've strengthened the rapport process. Now, if you're really ambitious and really want to go the extra mile, then you do a video, and that video can be done with your iPhone or smartphone. Or, if you do have a web camera, you can do it on your web camera, and you pre-record it. So if you don't like your first version 1's always better than version none, but if you don't like version 1, do version 2. If you don't like version 2, version 3. And if you want to hire a professional videographer, you can do the same. And probably for less than $250, even if you went very expensive, you could have a video where now your face is on a website, your website, and you're meeting that potential client faster, better, and easier, and you're resolving the questions before they even come in. So now you're not wasting your management and team's time of answering the same redundant questions again and again and again, which is frankly irresponsible for any client of mine to do when they can be done online. So that's the fastest and easiest way to spend a little bit of time to save a lot of time and money on answering redundant questions that can be resolved online.
So it's all about education and getting that education out to your clients so that they feel that you're really trying to help them. You're showing that you are an advocate for their success and that you can solve their problems. And I guess when all that kind of content is out there on the internet and they're finding it, it also breeds familiarity and trust as well.
Well, that's absolutely correct, Neil, although it's super obvious. But here's the thing. If you're going to answer those questions in the office anyway, why not answer them before they come in the office so you've raised the temperature from cold to warm? I mean, it's a lot easier to go from warm to hot, which is a sale or a new client or patient, than going from cold to hot. So all you're doing is you are collapsing the sales cycle or the enrollment cycle so that the redundant stuff is done online, and they're going there anyway to check you out, whether you want to believe it or not. So if you don't want to go online, you're going to lose sales. If you do go online, then you're going to capture more sales because you have an advantage over those who are not online or have a horrible online presence. So this is the business of information marketing. You're going to have these critical conversations in the office anyway. You're going to educate them anyway. You're going to be their advocate anyway. So if you can start without your physical presence, or you can start while you're sleeping, if you can start while someone is doing it for free, that's you, automated online with simple video technology, which anyone has these days, then it's like going to heaven without the inconvenience of dying. Because now the prospecting begins outside of your office, not inside.
Well, this is all great information for any local business owner. Alex, you've just come off the back of product launch, push button influence. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, the push button influence, the method, the PBI method, PBI stands for push button influence, doesn't mean push buttons or push button money. What it means is people have to push buttons in order to see you as the service professional, as an influencer. They have to push a button called like on Facebook, or tweet or retweet on Twitter, or share or post. There are like 40 to 50 buttons people push in favor of someone in becoming an influencer. So if you have Dr. A versus Dr. B, if Dr. A doesn't have enough buttons to push online to get closer to him or her, and Dr. B does, then Dr. B is going to win. The more buttons pushed means more engagement means more rapport means warmer prospect, and warmer prospect means easier conversion from prospect to paid buyer. So pushing buttons is about utilizing all of the new media resources, not all of them at once, just the ones that you may just want a Facebook page, a Facebook fan page, or maybe you want a YouTube channel where you're doing video tutorials, and you do one per week, about 10 minutes spent each week. Most service professionals think it's difficult. Most think it involves technology. What you really need is 4 things. You need a mouth, you need a message, you need a mouse, like a computer mouse, and you need a microphone. If you have those 4 things, and I'm assuming you know your trade, that's not what we teach, you have the skills and tools for your trade, then through sheer perception, your reality becomes a faster growing business, and it becomes easier to grow it because all those redundant things are being done day and night while you're sleeping or working by your website.
Right. And by doing 10 minutes, like you say, a week is going to build and build. But a lot of business owners think, if they're starting from scratch, how are they going to be able to build a massive audience, or just, even in a small town, a big enough audience in a short amount of time? Are there any fast track ways to try and build that audience a little bit faster?
Well, that's an interesting question because, what's fast? So the first thing you want to do is you have people inquiring about your business to begin with. Well, if you inquire about a business, where do you send them? The chances of them coming in first for an initial consultation is much lower, probably 50 times less likely than sending them to your website. So whatever you're doing right now to create business, the Internet is not going to get you more initially. The Internet's going to make it easier to send people there and increase your conversion rate of people inquiring and people actually coming in. So that's the first conversion measurement, is how many people inquire versus coming in. And if you have a website that is a PBI method type of site, then you'll have a higher number of people coming in than if you don't have one. Why? Because they're getting to know, like, and trust you on the website. So you're doing exactly what you're doing now, only you've created a promotional division of your company that doesn't require a lot of resources, and you just keep adding to it a little bit at a time. And it's not about technology. It's not about search engine optimization. Initially, all it's about is, hey, if you'd like to learn more about the most important questions to ask before you come in, go to the website, download the Consumer Awareness Guide, and if you feel that we're a good fit for you, then come on in. Well, that's not what someone does if they don't have an adequate website. What someone does is, hey, come on in, we'll do a free consultation, or come on in, we'll do a free treatment plan. Well, come on in and we'll do a pre-diagnosis or intake. The chances of someone coming in versus someone going to a website with their fingers and pushing a few buttons is different. It's like night and day. So the Internet's not going to get you the exposure. It can, but initially just do what you're doing, but add the Internet so that you get more conversion of people coming in, and that generates more dollars. So if you have 10 inquiries and you have 4 people out of those 10 coming in, that's a pretty high conversion. But if you have 10 inquiries and you have 4 coming in anyway, just to get to know who you are, then you most likely get 6 to 7 people coming in, which is almost 100% return difference, just because you have a website that you spend a little bit of time on so that the rapport process begins before they walk through the door. Does this make sense?
Yeah, and you have a very specific website with, certain features that every good website has to have to encourage that kind of engagement once people get there. I also listened to some more of your information about the 3 whys, the why this, why you, and why now. Do you want to go through those for me?
Well, most people in business really don't know how to enroll people into their area of expertise. I mean, they work really hard. They get a degree. They get a certification. They get the right to practice, whether it's a financial certificate for a financial planner and some sort of certification that they can pass the bar exam and become an attorney, or they go through chiropractic school or medical school. And then once they're out, they have a lot of debt, and they don't have a template to enroll people, and more importantly, they don't know how to teach their people to enroll. They think people are just going to be tripping over their feet and come in and say, hey, I want to do business with you. So I've been doing this for 25 years, and I love simple things because simple is easy to transfer to another human being, because most humans will forget, just like children. Dogs have better memories. Seals have better memories than human beings do many times, because human beings have distractions. So it's not the memory that hurts, it's all the other things getting in the way. So the best template I've learned over the years that I've taught that has worked with children, parents, grandparents, everything from someone who carves wooden bears to accountants, chiropractors, dentists, lawn care professionals, landscapers, I mean, you name it, web designers, architects who want new business, is ask yourself 3 questions that begin with why. Why this? Why you? Why now? Why this means, okay, why this practice? Why this business versus another business you could be doing business with? Now, if you don't know the answer to that, then you're simply irresponsible, and you're not going to feed your family or yourself. I mean, I hate to be blunt, but I have to be, because if you don't know why this business why this course, why this practice, then your prospect's not going to know. So that's a very important question to know the answer to before you speak to them. And that's something to go on a video or even in the office for an initial consultation. The second question is, why you? Why you, potential patient or potential client? Why you? Why are you the ideal fit? Now, if you have a target audience of divorced moms, then you want to be crystal clear that that's your primary market, and you say, why you? If you have a potential market of home fitness equipment, so homes, not apartments, but homes, then you want to be crystal clear on why you. If they're a homeowner, that's an ideal you. If they're an apartment dweller, that's not an ideal you. So with the why you want to disqualify the people who it's not ideal for, and maybe refer out to other folks to build your referral network. And you can be like a referral hub for them. But that's not enough. You need to go 3 for 3. Why this? What makes you different? Why you? What makes you the ideal fit? And then why now? Why is now the ideal time? All right, well, you need a root canal, and that's what we do. Or you need a tax audit from your previous years to see if you saved any money, with IRS, and you don't even know it. Well, we can do that for free. And if we can save you some money, hopefully that'll convince you to go with us in the future. Or if you have a leaky faucet and other plumbers have come by and they charge you an arm and a leg for it, maybe we can do it for free for this first visit if you sign a yearly maintenance contract where we can get it on future visits. So the why now is where most people fall apart because they don't have a compelling reason. Why act now? And it can't be artificial. It has to be genuine. It has to be authentic. And if you haven't thought about it by now, then that's why you're not getting sales now. Period. End of story. Thanks for playing. Case closed. So that's why this, why you, why now. Very powerful template, very simple, and very elegant because hopefully the 5 minutes I just covered is enough to get you going like a spark that lights a fire.
Yeah, it certainly is. Especially like you said, the why now part. If you're not getting the sales, then you're not doing business, and you're going to go out of business very quickly if you're not getting those sales. So that's all incredible information, and local business owners, small business owners are going to find this really interesting. I hope they've taken plenty of notes. When they go back to listen to that again, take plenty of notes. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we close here, Alex?
Well, we have an application process where we pre-qualify our prospects. And so if anyone who is listening to this wants to see what that looks like to attract very high-end clients where we get exposure for them, regardless of the business they're in, you can approach it one of 2 ways. Number 1, to become a potential client, or number 2, to observe the way we do it so that you can set up a similar application because this one really works well. So that could be found at pushbuttoninfluence.com/apply. Pushbuttoninfluence.com/apply. And the only caution is if you have no interest in becoming one of our clients where we do the work for you, just state that in the application as you go through it, or observe the application and don't fill it out. It's just so we're not wasting our time because it's not nice, to go through the process and then have no interest to begin with. So just observe the questions, see the way we've done the psychology behind it, and then you can borrow what you learn. And you don't even necessarily have to give us credit for it, but there's a lot of execution intelligence in those intake questions. Before anyone can diagnose anything, there needs to be an intake. And before you can prescribe, there needs to be a diagnosis. So intake, or that initial application or form that's filled out in a doctor's office, in a chiropractic office, in a dental office, or in a financial planning office, any type of service professional, doesn't matter. You need to get the initial seeds that lead to the roots that ultimately grow the fruit. So the seeds are the intake. The roots is the diagnosis. This is what I think you need based on my questions and based on the results that that intake gave us. And then the fruits are the actual yes from the prospect who turns into a customer. I do want to work with you because I think that you're the ideal fit and solution for me. So check it out, pushbuttoninfluence.com/apply, and only fill it out if you have a serious interest in working with us.
Well, I know there's a lot of business owners out there that are so busy with their business that it's hard for them to work on their business, and having somebody do that kind of work for them or help them along is really going to help. So I appreciate everything that you have given today, Alex. I appreciate your time and all the information, and I know our listeners have got a great deal out of it. And I really thank you for being on the Business Innovators Radio Show.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.